Walk into a Target anywhere in the US, and you're likely to find sleek mannequins, elaborate displays, and fancy lighting.
Target is very focused on the aesthetics of their stores, their products. That is what they hope makes it feel like an elevated discount store experience.
This elevated experience, which has led some to nickname the store Tarjay, is part of the company's strategy to differentiate itself from competitors and draw customers through the door. But what's happening in the front of a Target store is only a portion of the retailer's secret to success. This is the economics of Target.
Target, to me, is so interesting because really they're a department store that became a discount store. And they were always going after sort of a higher-end discount store image, and that's remained true to today.
Target positions itself as the option for cheap yet chic items, and customers can see the two ideas combined when walking around the store. In certain areas, like apparel, home goods, and electronics, Target stages items with lavish lighting and displays. But just across the way, you'll still find the standard merchandise aisles with uniform fluorescent lights.
Target has always tried to sort of meld these visual expectations that we have from a department store, like the mannequins and the good lighting and like a display for cosmetics. With a discount model, they also want you to feel like you're getting a good deal. And I think you see that as they iterate on store designs, they still strive for that combination.
According to a study by Hawk Incentives, when a customer feels like they're getting a good deal, it can make them feel smart and in turn increase sales.
Don't get distracted at Target. Don't get distracted at Target. Don't get distracted. Oh, I need that.
Retailers always are looking for this balance of things that bring you to the store that you need, like a gallon of milk, and the things that you might buy on a whim that they actually make more money off of.
Target store design is one of several factors that have helped the retailer expand in recent years. The business has grown more than 35% in the last 2 years, crossing $100 billion in annual revenue, driven in large part by the pandemic and a decision Target made 5 years ago to invest in its stores.
Lots of retailers said, hey, Amazon is here. Let's stop building stores. Let's remodel what we have. Let's develop an e-commerce model. Let's invest in other things. Target has continued adding stores. Some of them tend to be smaller stores, different types of formats, while they've invested in e-commerce, but they haven't completely pulled back on expanding their store count.
The retailer has over 1,900 locations in the U.S., which is smaller than Walmart but bigger than Costco. Around 75% of the U.S. population lives within 10 miles of one of these stores.
So Target, like lots of established retailers, big retailers, has this huge benefit right now, which is they have the stores already, and you probably live pretty close to one. And that's enabled them to say, offer things online for pickup in the store parking lot, which has been wildly successful for them during the pandemic because they have that store for you to go and pick up your online order at.
The majority of operations, like in-store and curbside pickup and fulfillment for online orders, get started in the back room of the stores.
It's been so interesting because they started to say, we're going to use our stores. We're not going to build big, e-commerce warehouses. We're going to use our stores several years ago. And there was a little bit of skepticism in the market because it didn't seem like you could really be that efficient in that model. But in the end, they say they've saved a lot of money because A, they're not building a huge warehouse, which costs a lot of money up front. And, they already have the trucks coming to their stores with their goods. And they're just using those stores to the maximum possibility.
Last year, Target's brick-and-mortar locations handled more than 95% of over $100 billion in sales. So walk around any Target and you're likely to see this operation in action. Workers move carts throughout the store, gathering and scanning items, while others watch for cars pulling up and deliver their orders. In effect, Target hires workers specifically for its fulfillment operations. The company calls this role a fulfillment expert.
They're either out on the floor collecting goods off the shelves, just like a shopper, or they're in the back room packing up things into boxes, getting them labeled appropriately. They're really more like warehouse workers.
And now, the company is taking this a step further in an effort to bridge the gap between its stores and its delivery location.
They're doing these things called sortation centers, which allow them to basically have orders from stores that are being packed up by fulfillment workers, sent to that more central location, but still kind of close to stores, and then picked up and sent out from there.
Target's success is also strongly dependent on the items in its stores. At any given time, about 1/3 of Target's inventory is exclusive to the retailer through private labels. Similarly, designers will often partner with Target for a limited time capsule collection.
These capsule collections for Target are sort of marketing, right? It's a way to say, hey, we're high design. big designers are interested in working with us, so it gives them a little bit of that cachet.
These collections are nearly as fundamental to Target as its bullseye logo. In the late 90s, top makeup artist Sonia Kashuk partnered with Target to create a professional makeup line at affordable prices. 16 years later, Target bought the line. And today, this line is only one of Target's more than 45 private labels.
They have become huge brands for Target, and they've added more and more. And now it's a pretty significant percentage of their sales. And private label, like at all companies, can be lower price for the consumer, but more profitable for the retailer. So there's a big interest for any retailer going in that direction.
According to a report by CB Insights, retailers can earn 25 to 30% higher gross margins on private labels compared to manufacturer brands. Target has yet to share the precise margin on its private labels, but currently 11 of its brands are worth at least $1 billion, with 4 brands crossing the $2 billion mark. While Target has transitioned through many iterations since it got its start in 1962, changing store designs many times and acquiring businesses within its larger brand, the company continues to evolve with the ever-changing customer.
They tend to kind of change strategy quickly when things aren't working, and I think we see them in the middle of potentially another version of that because the consumer is changing so much right now.
But even as the company evolves, some aspects remain the same.
I think the most consistent thing for Target has been this image, this idea that they're an elevated brand, they're different than their competitors. They have stuck with that since the beginning, and they still really lean on it today.